Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal on a very 7 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which would make it about 44 equivalent. And it's obviously warmer because we've got heavy cloud cover, and that's one of the things that is our trade-off. You know, we have soaked in weather and warmer weather in the winter. So I will be grateful for that because I don't have to shovel the rain. Feedback that I've been getting, and I really want to thank you all for the comments you've been making because it really is wonderful to see. However, I just want to tell anybody, if I miss answering a comment, know that I am doing my best, and it is possible I will miss a couple here and there just by the volume that has been coming in. And so if it is important that you get an answer and I've missed it, I don't think I've missed too many. You know, just send it again if it's polite. Oh, and by the way, I just wanted to say to the person who wrote to me, and bless your heart, who wrote to me and said that, you know, get new glasses because I was driving with an old pair of glasses. You need to know that my glasses hardly ever have changed their prescription. You know, it's been a point here, point there sort of thing. So it's not like I was driving around with glasses I couldn't see out of. Just in case you got that idea yesterday, that wasn't true. You need to know about me that I won't even drive when I'm sick. You know, if I've got the flu, I won't drive. I'm a great believer in not being the person that, wherever I can, not being the person that causes the accident. And so if I haven't got control of my vision or good control of my mental faculties, then I'm not going to be driving. And even so, you know, I did Christmas and New Year and was the party pooper at both because everybody was trying to get me to drink and giving me all the okay to drink. And I said nope. And, you know, I had a sip here and there, and I, you know, didn't have an evening without anything to drink, but I was very, very, very cautious about, you know, in both evenings I think I probably had one glass in the whole evening. So just so that you know, I am not somebody who's going to put other people's lives at risk by wearing the wrong glasses. I would have stayed at home if I thought that there was a situation where I couldn't see. My comment about it was purely that amused me in terms of the legality of it. You know, it would be better to be wearing a pair of glasses that you couldn't see out of than not wearing them at all, if you get my drift, because my license says that I should be wearing glasses. So, glad we got that one covered off. And the point that I wanted to really make today was I had an incredibly honest, brave, awesome question from one of the viewers. And when I read the question, I thought, wow, you know, that takes real courage to ask a question like that. And here's what it was. She asked, I'm pretty sure it's a she asked, how do I cope with my jealousy over all the things that the YouTubers can buy? All right, so her issue is she's watching all these YouTubers buying all this makeup that she can't afford, and, you know, getting gifts probably from around the world type stuff, and, you know, all this sort of thing, and she's not getting them. And that makes her, as Judy would say, jelly. So I thought it was an incredibly honest question because, as I said in my reply, I am quite certain you're not the only one who has that problem. Now, let me tell you, it's not just about the things they buy. There are a lot of people who are like myself, you know, beginning YouTubers, and we look at their numbers. And if we're not careful, we start to compare ourselves to their numbers, or, you know, get jealous of their numbers. So this is about life. This happens in life, but oh, what a great question. So I thought I'd see what I could do to start handling it, and then what I thought we would do is, oh, the river is still right up. It's only about 4 feet under the bridge at the moment. For those of you who are not regulars with me, I crossed this little bridge. There are two of them, this one here and there's another one that comes up in a minute. It's terrifying how high that is. All right, so how do we cope with that? Now, first of all, what I want to do is give you my experience, because maybe that answers the question. And then we'll let other people, as we talk about jealousy, because I think it's a big subject, one that we all need to have a look at. Because it can be about, how come she gets the guys and I don't, right? Or how come she gets the promotion and I don't? I mean, jealousy comes in and rears its ugly head all over the place, so it's a big subject. Anyway, so I want to talk about it in YouTube terms, because I think that's where we all met, and it's probably the easiest. When you first start with YouTube, it is very, very exciting, because you're learning so much. There's an awful lot to do, way more than I ever expected. And especially if you work as well, as people like Leah have found out, it's really difficult to get a daily vlog up, or just about a daily vlog up. To be consistent, which is a very important part of being a YouTuber, to be consistent and to get the material up. Now, when you start, you are so busy doing all those things that you don't really notice everything else that's going on around you. But here is the thing. After a while, you start, I don't care who you are, I'm pretty sure everybody's done it. You start looking at other people's figures. And boy, can that be demoralizing. I am sure you can all understand that I started to look at Judy's figures or Benji's figures, and I'd look at mine and I'd want to throw up. How did they ever get that big? Now, I'm pretty sure that Benji and Judy are looking at other people's figures, and they're not asking, or they're not feeling jealous. They're going, what are they doing right? All right, and studying that, because that's really what it's all about. So if I'm looking at what Benji and Judy are doing, then instead of getting all jealous about it, they've put 5-6 years into this. They're not beginners, but they're beginners compared to the people who've done 10-12 years, and some people have. Do you get my understanding? So we can all look at Benji and Judy and go, wow, put them on this huge pedestal, but they've got people way ahead of them. And so, lots of people. So this is a game of futility if you're going to compare yourself with the wrong people. So what I always say to YouTubers, that, because I've got YouTubers in the viewership that I have that have just started up, that I encourage them to start up, because I think it's a great learning process about life. And one of the things that I say is, don't compare yourself with me or with anybody else. Compare yourself with people who have just started the same as you are. And there's a really good link that you can go to, where it'll show you, okay, these are the people who've done the same number of videos, these are the people who've got the same number of subscribers, or these are the people that have had the same number of views, and this is where you rank amongst them. Now that is a fair thing to do. And then what you do is you keep trying to get yourself higher up that scale. You do not compare yourself with somebody who's significantly ahead of you, except to see what are they doing that you could be doing. That, and by the way, try not to overwork that. Just work on 1 or 2 things a month and keep improving. That's what everybody else is doing. You know, if you try and change it all at once or get it all right at once, you're going to totally overwhelm, and it's not going to happen. All right, so now then, what about the question from the viewer? Well, I want to tell you something, that I've been doing this for 2 years, 2.5 years now, I guess. Where am I? August, September, October, November, December, January, nearly 2.5 years. And I can assure you the amount of money I have made is probably pathetic compared to what you think I'm making. All right? You probably think I make thousands of dollars a year. Some of you probably think I make thousands of dollars a month. It's not true. Absolutely not true. I haven't made $1,000 in 2.5 years. So be careful before you judge people. You know, make sure that you have the right information before you judge people. Now, have I bought things for DearMamaSal because I wanted to do a video on them? Yes, I bought the halogen oven, for example. Would I have bought it? Probably not. But I was pretty sure there would be viewers that had seen it and wondered how it worked. So I did buy one. Now, I did that out of my own money. So again, don't be jealous of everybody because they can afford to buy things that you can't. Maybe they're saving up the same way as I did, right, to do that. I will tell you that almost every YouTuber that is a beauty guru started off by buying all their own makeup and spent a fortune on it, I'm quite sure. You know, they had to invest in themselves before the cosmetic companies came knocking on the door and said, hey, here's, you know, a box full of my makeup I'd like you to look at. Now, is it true that if you make it into the big time as a beauty guru, you know, the cosmetic companies are going to be sending you free makeup? Absolutely. Of course they will, unless they're stupid. But now you've got a bigger problem. What do you do with all this makeup, most of which you are not going to touch? It's a horrible thing. You know, are you going to give it away? Are you going to throw it away? I mean, it's horrible. Can you imagine how many things they must receive that they don't need? I mean, I am quite sure they get sent, you know, like a whole stack of hair dryers or something from maybe 4 different companies, and you're going, I've already got 10. You know, and there's something. So, I mean, there are 2 sides to that story. But do they get those sort of things sent to them? Absolutely. And do they get sent to them because the company hopes that you will promote them? Yes. And for some people, the company pays them to promote them. So you've got to be careful who you're listening to in terms, and watch their disclaimers. You know, are they getting paid to use these products? And if so, then you take the information that they give you based on that. But an awful lot of people do not get paid to do it. They choose not to, so that they can keep honest about their assessment of various things. So the question is, are you being jealous of something that really isn't fair? And are you being jealous without being realistic? If you have an audience of millions of people, which obviously I don't, but if I had an audience of millions of people, I would expect people to want to talk to me. You know, I'd probably expect the local dealership, if they heard about me, to maybe ask me if I'd like to borrow a car for a year, let's say, or whatever. You know, I mean, I don't know how they do it because it hasn't happened, but if it happens, I'll let you know. You know, that sort of thing. Yes, because that's called advertising. And it's smart advertising. It's called placement advertising. Now, that doesn't make you have reason to be jealous of them. It is a thing where you go, wow, they worked hard enough to get that. That's a whole different mentality. So I would ask you to have a good look at what you're jealous at. And let's start discussing those things. Now, have a good look at what is it that you're jealous of. And let's look at the reality of those things, if we haven't already covered it. And I'd really appreciate it if we get some feedback from other people so this person doesn't feel alone in this. I was so impressed with the question because I thought that's not an easy question to ask at all. You know, that's not sort of, you know, anyway, good for you, whoever it was. I'm not mentioning names because I sometimes think it's better that we don't. But here is the thing. Well done. I loved your honesty on this one. I absolutely appreciated your honesty. And I also have to tell you, it is a fact of life for a lot of people. I used to spend a lot of time being very jealous of a lot of people. And the truth is that you've got to look at yourself in a different way or come to peace with yourself in a different way to get over these jealousies, these petty jealousies. So let me tell you how I do it. Whenever I start being stupid enough to compare myself with people way ahead of me in terms of YouTube or whatever, in terms of the numbers, I look at myself and I ask myself, what are you doing to yourself? This is guaranteed to give you a bad day. Comparing yourself to others is nearly always a guarantee that either you're going to be arrogant because you're going to compare yourself with people below you, or you're going to be despondent because you're comparing yourself with people way ahead of you. Neither of them is fair on you. You know, when I look at people starting their YouTube channels, I don't think, you know, any more than, for example, Benji and Judy do when they watch what my pathetic numbers are compared to theirs. I don't know about Benji and Judy, but I do know that when I look at people who are starting now, and I'm talking about some of the viewers here, my heart goes out to them because I remember being at that many views. And I remember wondering whether I'd ever make it to 1,000, wondering whether I'd ever make it to 2,000, wondering whether I'd ever make it to 3,000, and talk about the vision of maybe one day making it to 5. I can remember those days very, very well because they weren't very long ago. And you know, I was also with Benji and Judy when Judy hit 1 million subscribers. It was either 1 million views or 1 million subscribers. I can't remember which it was, but I was in the house with them because I remember congratulating her. I bought I lie. It happened on my way down, and I picked up a bottle of champagne on the way down through the border because Benji had texted me and told me that it had just happened. And so I picked up a bottle of champagne at the border. I remember doing it. So, you know, I just hit 300,000 views. This to me was so far out of my vision, it's not even funny. But as soon as I hit 300,000, you understand everything I'm doing starts walking around. How do I get to 325? Right, that's my question. I go, oh, look at that, I made 300,000. And I have fun with it. And then I go, I wonder how I hit 325. What do I need to do? Makes sense. And I don't know if any of you understand this, but it's the kid in me gets excited. I don't go, oh, I'm so far away from 1 million. No, this is like, I didn't think I was going to make it to 1,000, never mind 5,000. And here I am, over 300,000. That's fun. That means I've worked hard and I've done some good things and made some good choices. But more importantly, I look at it and go, why am I doing this? Yeah, I think a lot of you know I'd be doing this if anyway. You know, I have always done it in some way. So don't be jealous of people who work hard. Because from my experience of talking to YouTubers that have done pretty well, they all work very hard. You don't think they do, because you see a 10-minute clip or something. But they are working at their craft morning, noon, and night. Do you want to be doing that? Are you working morning, noon, and night on your job? Or do you just work 8 hours a day? Make sense? I hope so. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, let's continue this topic. It's a good one. Bye for now.